to get right to breaking news. We're going to start with a 7.7 earthquake that's rocked Myanmar and Thailand. At least one person was killed. 50 more are hurt. Dozens are missing. The extent of the damage right now unknown due to Myanmar being under strict state control. Again, this is also affecting Thailand as well. However, this is one of the strongest earthquakes to hit that nation. By the way, we should mention a West Michigan woman was in Thailand when this all happened just hours ago. Sid Simone now lives in Muskegon, but she is in the country of Thailand to film a food documentary there. Sid joins us now live. Sid, good morning to you. Thank you so much for being with us. I know it's evening where you're at. When this earthquake happened, describe what was going on. What was it? Chaos? What happened?
So initially, when I became aware of it, I was actually on the subway. So I was underground when it occurred, and I was one stop away from my destination. And I just remember the train saying, "Oh, we're stopped, it's delayed." And then we just sat for a minute. And then after the second or third announcement of we're delayed and stay on the train, someone came in a panic, and everything's in Thai, so nobody's speaking any English. So someone came and spoke on Thai. It was like an expediency in their voice, and everyone rushed off of the train. At that point, I went to Facebook trying to find out what happened, and I saw earthquake in Bangkok. And so at that point, I knew that the entire city was going to start to diminish at that point. I have been trying to get home for 5 hours now.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So where is home in relation to where you started? It's got to be a long journey, I would imagine.
So today's episode was being filmed approximately an hour outside of the city. So I was already on the outskirts of the city. The area that I primarily focus on is the Ekamai area. And right behind me, I'm actually at one of our popular stops. It's at ASO. So this is the ASO Metro Rail behind me. Nobody's on it because the Metro Rail has been shut down for several hours. So when I was told to get off, that was it for the rest of the day. So at this corner, we have the police station and some of the major malls. I'm actually standing 4 miles from where that high-rise collapsed, unfortunately, after the earthquake today.
Yeah, so we're taking a look at some of the video that you sent us into our newsroom, Sid, and you were mentioning how you were trying to get home, so you get off the subway, and is that how I understand you were ending up in a taxi?
Yeah, so after approximately 45 minutes of trying to get a taxi, I waved one down, and we negotiated in Thai how much it would cost to get me home. He didn't realize just how bad the traffic was congested at that point, so he did increase my rate. And after sitting on the highway for an hour and a half, and sitting in the exact same spot for approximately 35 minutes, I then realized I had to abandon him. Yeah. And my taxi driver was almost on E. And I said, I know we're not going to make it to my destination. So I, among other people on the highway, had to abandon our vehicles. And so there are many people that had to get out. I saw people running, just trying to get to work. People were running, just trying to get off of the highway. And I was one of them. So I'm sure he's probably still sitting where I left him, unfortunately. And then I walked approximately 25 minutes into the city to get to this location, thinking that maybe the Metro Rail would be up or that I could pick up a taxi. But I have been requesting a taxi now through the Grab app, which is like our version of Uber. And I've been trying to request something for over an hour. And nothing's moving.
Wow. I mean, so it does seem like there is some activity behind you. People still back out on the street. It seems like the traffic there is slowly resuming. But you make an interesting point there. You're walking along the side of a highway, just trying to get back to where you're staying there. And how long would you say you walked? You said about 25 minutes, but how long along the highway would you say you walked there?
So fortunately, I was actually closer to the city. So maybe about a 10 or 15-minute walk along the highway to get to where the buildings were. And then I was afraid that I was going to be in an area that I was unfamiliar with. But by happenstance, I actually was in this area yesterday for a convention. So I knew exactly where I was. I was grateful because I knew that there was going to be a Metro Rail stop or at least something behind me that I would recognize. But I've been standing in the same location among other people that you can see just trying to get a ride. So you're going to see tuk-tuks, you're going to see the motorbikes, you're going to see the grab cars, you're going to see people walking, there's people on motorcycles, there's going to be people on bikes. Like at this stage, we're just fighting each other, just trying to get a ride. And if I were to walk home from this location, I'm still an hour away and my knee and my back are not going to allow that.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I want to make sure that if folks are just joining us, because we did push this story out as 13 plus, Morning Plus was starting at 9, that we have Sid Simone joining us live, who's live in Bangkok, Thailand. That country, of course, being one affected in that big earthquake that happened overnight. It mainly rocked Myanmar, but of course, Thailand is very, very close by. This earthquake shutting down much of the infrastructure there in Bangkok, as Sid is just now telling us. Sid, we were looking at some video of a skyscraper that was under construction and that collapsed during the earthquake, and we're looking at some of the rubble here now. You said that you were far away from this skyscraper, but you describe it in one video that you sent to us as an act of God that you were not in that area.
Oh, yes, for sure. Because today was a day that I really wanted to stay at home in my high rise. And something in my spirit said to get up and go to a location that literally was an hour and a half outside of the city. And even after I got there through that schlep, I still didn't get to what I needed to get to. And just me getting off the subway and just thinking and processing, I've had a lot of time to process. I wasn't supposed to be there because to the point, this high rise is actually in a very popular area. So one of our main markets is located there. So this is a tourist area that high rise imploded. Right now, they're predicting over 84 people are unaccounted for, and unfortunately, some of them are presumed to be dead because they're underneath that skyscraper. So it was a high rise in a skyscraper that kind of imploded.
Yeah.
And I'm just standing 4 miles from where that occurred.
Yeah, I mean, very close proximity, hitting a little too close for home for some of us here in West Michigan, seeing a Muskegon native there living through this. By the way, you make a point there of the folks impacted by that skyscraper collapse. We should report that Associated Press is reporting 3 dead in that, 90 plus feared missing at this point, and they are still, of course, trying to figure out where those folks are. Another piece of video that we've been seeing come out of Thailand this morning was a hotel in the downtown area there of Bangkok. As things were rocking there, we could see water coming from the balcony. Can you just kind of speak to what it felt like there in your area? Obviously, you said that you were in the subway, but could you even tell that there was a earthquake going on?
So there was just a little jolt that I experienced, and I thought nothing of it because it's the subway. The subway is going to move. It's going to shift. You're going to feel a lot of things on there. But getting off, now I realize that small little jolt that usually felt out of place, you just kind of get that initial sensation in your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
That had to be the earthquake. And that water that you speak of, so walking along the highway was actually flooded, partially flooded. So I was stepping through water and puddles of water, just trying to get off of the highway and into a safer area. So I was trying to figure out where that water was coming from. Some of that is also antifreeze from some of the vehicles being stalled. So I passed numerous vehicles on the highway that people had to abandon because their cars overheated. Every day it's 90 to 100 degrees. So this heat is nothing to compete with. Like, you cannot outrun, you can't outdrink this level of heat and humidity that we're experiencing. So many people did not have enough water. They don't have enough snacks. And then their cars overheated. So they're leaving their vehicles and then running out of gas as well, which is what happened to my taxi driver. And I had to abandon him before that happened, because at that point I saw it getting dark and I needed to get to some form of safety with lights and near a metro stop.
Yeah. Sid, can you describe what is going on now in the city? It appears that people are out walking around the street, but it does look like there's still a lot of traffic there. So can you kind of put into words what the city is doing now? How are people doing now?
So what you're seeing right now is we're still in the middle of rush hour. So just imagine that a city of over 9 million people, Bangkok is the world's most visited city as of 2024. 33,000 people visited in 2024. On average, 22,000 people visit. Like, it's always chaos. So you're experiencing right now what a typical day would look like with traffic, but now we're adding on the fact that none of us can get on the metro rail. So the hundreds of thousands of people that use the metro rail, we're now all fighting for taxis, tuk-tuks, bicycles. So nobody is able to get on. And I can show you where people are going up the stairs. I don't know where they think they're going. But they're going up the stairs and everything is shut down. So I'll venture up there so you can see that the gates are shut. There's actually signs, tickets are not being disseminated from the machines. So right now, you're experiencing live with me how I'm stranded. I've been trying to get home for 5 hours. I put in a request for a taxi an hour ago, and I have received no movement. So I just walked up. This is ASO. This is one of the BTS stops. Traditionally, this would be saturated with lots of riders, but right now it's empty.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, and you can even see the gates there. You can see, and you were showing us some of the ticket machines earlier in your video. I mean, it is truly remarkable how this has just shut down the infrastructure in that country. One more question for you. How long until you are able to get home? Are you going to have to walk the rest of the way? And if so, what does that journey for you look like at this point?
You know, just thinking about it gives me chills because I have no idea. I don't know how I'm getting home.
Wow.
So I was under the impression when I abandoned my taxi that getting to this stop would help me pick up another taxi to get home. But that has not manifested at all yet. And I'm still it's an hour walk. If I took, even if I took a taxi, it's about 4 to 5 miles. Approximately, that would still take me 45 minutes to an hour, the way that traffic is hitting right now.
Wow.
So to be determined of how Sid Simone will get home today.
All right. Well, Sid, we
And
wish...
the only thing you could do is just stay in good spirits.
Yeah.
I will say this, that it's unfortunate because there's so many people that we're all fighting, trying to get home, but some people are trying to fight to get home because their family member is under that building. You know,
Yeah.
somebody's family, somebody didn't make it home. And when we talk about me being blessed, I was so blessed that I was not there today. I could have been shopping in that area. This literally just up the street from my high rise. So I could have been walking, and Bangkok is always under construction. So something like this is not atypical. This is standard. Like there's lots of construction happening all day, every day, right? So you always wonder, is something going to fall on me? But not from an earthquake of this magnitude. And I do know that a lot of people had issues with the aftershock that occurred within the hour of that. I've also been told that they may anticipate another one. I hope not. I continue to get alerts from my complex saying that it's fine, but there may be some cracks and damages in the walls. So when I go back, I'll have to assess the room. They have notified me that if there are cracks, that the foundation is still sustainable and that we shouldn't have any issues. But when you're staying on the 11th floor, the 15th floor of a high rise that's 16, 18 floors, like it's still scary because you don't know. And I'll be honest, like the infrastructures here are not that sound.
Right.
So it does not surprise me when I go into a hotel or an apartment, just how thin the walls are and just how thin the foundation is. So it's really unfortunate how this earthquake has devastated the entire city. And then I'm seeing also friends that are trying to get here, and they're stuck at the airport right now. And they're reaching out asking, do I have a taxi ride? Can I refer them to someone? And I'm like, I'm trying to get home. I can't help you even get from the airport.
Yeah, Sid, we really, our hearts and thoughts are with you as you make your journey back home. I know that you said it's been about 5 hours. You've been trying to get home now. You have another hour to go. Sid, if there are any aftershocks left here, we really do hope that you stay safe. And of course, we'll try to keep in touch with you as you make your journey home. Sid Simone, originally from West Michigan, in Thailand right now after that 7.7 magnitude earthquake. We really appreciate your time and safe travels back.
Thank you so much.